With all the investment going into AI right now, the question everyone's asking is the same. How do I trust my agents once they reach production? You can eval them all day in development, but production is where the unexpected happens, where real users do things you didn't test for, and where the context feeding your agent changes underneath it. And that's really the heart of it. A curated test set can only grade the questions you thought to ask for. The failures that actually hurt you are the ones that nobody anticipated. An agent that runs clean, throws no errors, and still gives someone a confidently wrong answer. You can only catch those by watching real traffic. And when you do catch one, then what? If every issue needs a human to notice it, investigate it, and fix it, your team becomes the bottleneck of your AI strategy. This is how we think about it. Agents working alongside humans at every step, finding issues, root causing them, and handing you the fix. But there's a piece of this loop that most tools can't see. That's what the agent knows. An agent is only as good as the context it's reasoning over, and most failures in production aren't model problems, they're context problems. If you can't see the pipelines feeding your agent, you're only watching half the system. Let's take a look. This is an agent estate in Monte Carlo. We connected the trace data each agent produces so that regardless of where your agent runs, we can observe them. This could be a Snowflake Cortex agent, a Databricks agent, or something you've built in-house. And from that trace data, every agent in production, its trace volume, latency, errors, token spend, regardless of where they're running, are all in one pane of glass. This is important because most teams' reality today is that every agent team monitors their own thing, their own way, in their own dashboard. And think of this as the estate view, the place where someone can actually answer, how are our agents doing, without asking 6 different teams. Let's take a look at one. So this is the health and cost view of a single agent. We get trace volume, latency percentiles, error rates, token spend, all trended week over week. If you own the budget, this helps answer the is it behaving and what is it costing me question. If you own the code, every one of these points drills straight into raw traces, and any tools used by the agents or monitors you've configured are all surfaced under one place. Now, one question most teams can't actually answer about their agents is, once they're live, what are users actually asking it to do? We automatically cluster every real production interaction by intent. No tagging, no setup. Think of this as product analytics for your AI. Adoption, misuse, demand patterns that you never designed for, right? Your users are writing your actual test set for you live every single day. These are the real prompts that are hitting your agents, not the ones that your team might have curated in a spreadsheet last quarter. So how do we watch all of this? There's really 4 different layers to this. Metric monitors are performance related. Think of latency, tokens, errors. Trajectory monitors monitor behavior. Did the agent take the path you expected? Did we skip a tool call that was vital to producing what this agent needed? Evaluation monitors are for output quality, scored against your live traffic. And validation monitors help to catch individual bad spans within the agent. Setting up any of these is as simple as describing what you want in plain language, as our operations agent is actually set there to help you build monitors based on what you want or suggestions on how you could actually monitor your agent based on what we understand from the traces. So let's take a look at what it's like when we actually catch a real incident. This is my branch report agent. We had set up an evaluation monitor to track how closely our agent was adhering to the provided prompt. This particular alert caught an incident where the eval score dropped from around 5 down to 2. There was no error from the agent, no latency spike. The agent ran fine, but it quietly shipped a bad report to its users. Now, this isn't something a pre-production eval would have caught either. Nobody wrote a test case for the report looks good, but the context is stale. because nobody anticipated that. Pre-curated evals grade the questions you thought to ask. Production observability grades what your users actually got. So what happened here? Here's the part where normally an engineer loses their morning. Nobody investigated this manually. Instead, our troubleshooting agent did the incident investigation in seconds. It went through the process just like your best engineer would. It found no latency anomalies, zero errors across the different spans, no model changes or code config changes as well. But it did find the root cause, and in this case, it was because the agent's context went stale. Subscription payment, a table directly feeding into the agent's retrieval context, had gone 13 hours with an update. The agent confidently reported figures that were not current, with no recency checks included in that. The output problem, it turns out, was actually a context problem. It doesn't stop at the diagnosis either. It actually prescribes where appropriate, and in this case, it suggested to add a circuit breaker to the agent, to pause it when the context is stale, and to add a recency guard to the prompt, so that the agent flags potential stale inputs in the future instead of reporting them as fact. From one evaluation monitor on a production agent, we can go from detection to prescription. So how do we make this connection from the agent's output up to a context pipeline? Right? So this is how. This is a view of the context lineage of the agent. The agent, the tools it calls, every table feeding it, and those tools are understood through lineage. The troubleshooting agent didn't guess. It walked this graph, and when quality dropped, it used this to help find the actual root cause answer. Since we're watching this context layer, let me show you the same incident from the other side. So this is the same incident seen from the context side. Same platform, right? So here's the freshness anomaly caught automatically. And by catching issues at the context layer, you can take action before the downstream impact becomes a problem. Now, everything I've shown you so far has been reactive. An alert fired, and we were able to do root cause analysis. Let's take a look at what it's like when we switch to a more proactive view. So this is a different agent in the estate. And here's the important part. No alert fired here. Nobody complained. The system continuously scans instead all of my workflows for issues and inefficiencies that nobody has yet noticed. It ranked them by severity and wrote up a fix for me. In this case, it actually found an issue with this agent where it found an internal loop that ran, in this case, 86 times in a single trace. That one step runs over 9 minutes while the entire rest of my pipeline finishes in under 20 seconds. That means it's burning roughly 90% of the workflow's token spend just from this one mistake. We were able to identify this, that there was no guard in place for the recursion loops like this. From here, it's a one click to add a linear ticket, add a Jira ticket or draft a PR, dispatch it straight to my repo. The system finds root causes and drafts fixes for issues and inefficiencies that we're not even checking for, taking you out of fighting fires constantly and putting you back into the mode of building. We're building the systems that go beyond dashboarding simple metrics into ones that identify and closes the loops themselves. So back to the question we started with. How do you trust agents in production? Well, you just saw is our answer. Trust isn't a score on a test set. It's knowing how your agent is behaving on real traffic. It's knowing the context its reasoning over is fresh and reliable, and it's having a system that catches the failure, explains it, and hands you the fix. If you're making the AI investments everyone else is making, this is the layer that protects them. And the next step is simple. Pick one or two of your production agents, and let's answer that trust question on your stack instead of ours. Thanks for watching.